Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we pull back the curtain on corporate secrets. And this week we are looking at Coherent Corp's latest filings. And let me tell you, there is some interesting stuff going on behind the scenes, especially when it comes to shareholders having their say. So this is a Form 8K, a current report that companies file when they have significant events to announce. This one is dated the 13th of November 2025, and it mainly covers their annual shareholder meeting. Scroll Coherent Corp. Exact name of registrant as specified in its charter. Scroll, the company here is Coherent Corp, and they are registered in Pennsylvania. Their stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol COR Scrollatum 5.07. Submission of matters to a vote of security holders. Scroll, the main news here is what happened at their annual meeting of shareholders. This is where the company owners, the shareholders, get to vote on important decisions. Now, around September of 2025, they had over 156 million shares of common stock that were eligible to vote. Imagine if you owned even a tiny piece of that, you would have a say. They also had some special preferred stock that could vote. And the turnout was pretty good. Almost 88% of all the votes were accounted for either by people showing up or by them sending in their vote beforehand. That shows a lot of shareholders were interested in what is happening. One of the biggest things that happens at these meetings is electing the board of directors. These are the people who oversee the company and make big strategic decisions. Shareholders re-elected 5 individuals: Enrico Di Girolamo, David L. Motley, Lisa Neal, Grave Shaker Sadasavam, and Michelle Sterling. They will be serving until 2028, which is a pretty long term, giving them time to implement their plans. Let's look at the votes for Enrico Di Girolamo. He got over 147 million votes in favour. That is a huge number. There were about 5.6 million votes against him and a smaller number of abstentions. What is also interesting here are the broker non-votes. That is when a broker holds shares for someone else, but doesn't get instructions on how to vote those shares. It is like a shareholder didn't give their broker a clear direction. David L. Motley also got a very strong endorsement with over 151 million votes in favour. His opposition was quite small at just over 1.3 million. Lisa Neal Graves received a solid number of 4 votes at just under 137.3 million. She had more against votes though compared to some others at around 15.6 million. This might suggest a bit more concern from some shareholders about her specific role or past performance compared to the others, but still overwhelmingly approved. Shaker Sadasavam got a really strong result too, with over 150 million votes in favour. The opposition was very minimal here, and Michelle Sterling rounds out the list with over 150.9 million votes in favour. Again, very little opposition, indicating strong shareholder confidence. Next up was a look at how the company paid its top executives last year. This vote is usually advisory, meaning shareholders are giving their opinion, not making a final decision. Think of it as a really important feedback session. Shareholders approved this with over 147 million votes in favour, compared to about 5.2 million against. So generally, shareholders seemed okay with how the executives were compensated. And finally, shareholders approved the choice of Ernst & Young LLP as their independent auditors for the upcoming fiscal year ending the 30th of June 2026. This is crucial for ensuring the company's financial statements are trustworthy. This proposal got a massive thumbs up with over 161 million votes in favour and very few against. So what does all this mean? Well, the shareholders of Coherent Corp seem to be solidly behind the current leadership and the direction the company is heading. Electing directors is a fundamental way shareholders exercise control, and the overwhelming support shows confidence. The approval of executive compensation suggests that while shareholders are watching closely, they are generally satisfied with how their business is being run. And ratifying the auditors is a standard but important step ensuring financial transparency. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Coherent Corp appears to have strong shareholder backing. The board members are clearly viewed favourably, and the company's compensation practices are deemed acceptable. The massive support for their auditor Ernst & Young LLP is a vote of confidence in the company's commitment to financial integrity. There aren't any glaring red flags in this particular filing. It is more of a report of a well-functioning annual meeting with shareholders actively participating and providing their consent to the proposed actions. Alright, that is our breakdown of Coherent Corp's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.